last series of the day. We have Firebat versus Purple, and an unconventional lineup from Firebat, as he has 4 classes that we've seen, but he's got Face Hunter, just raw, pure aggression, which is a deck probably near and dear to his heart, considering that the Aggressive Hunter was a deck that he used to win the 2014 World Championship back in the day.
Yep.
In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at that Face Hunter, which is our T-Mobile deck spotlight of the day. The Hunter deck thrives off of building early game pressure with its onslaught of 1 to 2 mana minions, and from there try to use its expensive cards, aka a card that costs 3 mana, to end the game. Really highlighted by the hero power synergy through Toxic Reinforcements and Face Stalker. Firebat will be trying to build the board very aggressively and try to connect from one turn to another, very much like how T-Mobile is helping us stay connected from one person.
One face to another, right? Except Firebat's only staying connected to a single face. I really like this deck. I like a lot of the synergies that it has. The Scrap Shot is a cool inclusion in the deck because Stone Test Boar fits like a couple of key roles where either it's an activation for kill command, or it's picked up by the Scavenger's Ingenuity and is buffed, or it's held in hand and wait for the Scrap Shot. Scrap Shot can actually target face. It's 3 damage and it gives him a beast in your hand +3/+3. So if you think about that as like 5 mana for 7 damage from hand, that's very efficient damage if the Stone Tusk Boar is there. And it just is. It seems just like an efficient deck, right? I even like the pack tactics as opposed to the snake trap. Just because there are some minions in the deck that you'd rather have extra copies of than 3 snakes, right? You look at Toxic Reinforcements, that gives you Leper Gnomes. He has Leper Gnomes in the deck. He also has the Cobalt Sand Troopers. Pack Tactics works better with those because you're just trying to do efficient damage. You're not trying to control the board. You're just trying to deal as much damage as possible, as efficiently as possible. And it just seems like a refined variation of it that's got a couple cool combos and synergies that get me excited about it. It's been a while since I've been excited about Face Hunter. There's no Wolf Riders, which is the only downside to it. I know that Saul would love to see some Wolf Riders in this deck, but there's just way more efficient things than Wolf Riders, and that gets me pumped, Dan.
Gets us pumped. So that's what we're going to be looking forward to. And that was your deck spotlight, brought to you by T-Mobile, helping you stay connected to what matters most. And Firebat will be looking to see if he can start off his division placings with a victory here over Purple. Purple just missing out on Division A by a single point. Had he been able to win his final match on this past Sunday, he would have been in Division A, but now he's fighting for survival in Division B. And remember, 2 spots in Division B, seeds number 7 and 8 after these 4 weeks, will automatically be relegated. These could be the beginning of the end for either of these players, because I can't really imagine Grandmasters without either of these players. But there's a chance that neither of them make it.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad to think about, right? But I feel like now that we've had a season of relegation under our belt, we're a little bit more prepared for it, and I hope the players are as well. But it is kind of looming over everybody's head, and now we have an extra player who will go through the relegation bracket and join the 2 automatically relegated players. So pressure's on. And Firebat putting his week 1 stakes on this Face Hunter, which I believe, let me just double check. Yes, he was the only player. There's 3 Highlander Hunters, Purple being one of them. So we have Hunter on both sides of the series. And then the 1 Face Hunter in Americas, which is Firebat. So we'll see if he can get the job done. There are a lot of tempo decks, but there's tempo decks that use health as a resource to gain that tempo, like the Rogue and like the Demon Hunter. And Face Hunter, I feel, might be able to capitalize on those things. There's also decks that use their life as a resource to draw cards like Warlock, which purple doesn't have, but there are a lot of players in the field that do. So I'm curious to see how well the Face Hunter is going to perform, considering Firebat's on a different page than everybody else, obviously, with the Bring.
Yeah, so we're going to look forward to that. Also, the fact that for the first time today, we have, 5 unique classes that's going to be represented in this series, with the potential of, with that Hunter being different from Purple's by a big different margin. I would probably argue that it's 6 different decks entirely. So let's go ahead and get ready for game number 1 here, Firebat versus Purple, and it's going to be that Face Hunter. Former teammates, very close friends, coach and student, world champion versus world contender. 2 of the most storied players in America's history going at it in Division B. As we go into game number 1 here, pretty solid opening for Firebat, but at the same time, with the way this deck is built, it's almost always a solid opening.
Yeah.
Morgan Infiltrator. And right off the bat, you can kind of see that there's a few decisions to weigh here that have cascading effects through the rest of the game. If Firebat chooses to not coin out, which I agree with the choice to hold here, he's, that coin gets increasingly weak as each turn passes, because the Demon Hunter will outscale this Face Hunter.
Yes, it will.
How does Firebat push out the damage, and when does he use the coin? Does he use it this turn, Face Stalker and Leper Gnome, set up for attack reinforcements on the next turn?
And then he would trade over the Battle Fiend?
Yeah, Battle Fiend definitely wants to go, or you want to kill the Battle Fiend for sure. The question is, does Firebat use the coin here? And that's what he's thinking about as well.
Looks like
he's not going to give any value. Ooh. Let's draw here.
So he had the option to just use Twin Slice, but because he has Outros on the far left, that Twin Slice has a lot of value. Also the Glavebound Adept. So even though he's kind of quote-unquote wasting the I-Beam here by not getting the lifesteal component of it, he's still just playing for tempo, and the Twin Slice is just too big of a resource for Purple to want to throw. Also, there's the added caveat that his I-Beam may be stranded without Outcast if he doesn't play it this turn, if he draws something that's a little bit more expensive that he doesn't want to play yet on the next turn, and I-Beam's 3. So, Purple did it very quickly, but it is a good spot. And now Firebat finally going to be able to get value from this Face Stalker. With 1 Explosive Trap in hand, he's got 1 more in deck plus the Pack Tactic, so it's a 50-50 which one this will be.
Hide behind your servants. I will still find you.
And it's explosive.
It is Explosive Trap. Pretty unfortunate there. And normally at this juncture of the game, I always say, oh, I'm safe. I'm at 28 life versus Face Hunter. There's no way that they can win this position, right?
Oh,
Turn
damn.
4, they've missed their window. Oh, how wrong I am.
How
Every
naive.
single time I face this deck.
You got a race.
Oh, yeah.
But Purple.
And I think...
Good.
I was just going to say that Purple understands very well what he needs to be doing here.
He's got some tools to race. He's got some big ones.
Yeah, this Glavebound Adept is massive and introduces logistical challenges here for Firebat. Does not want to take that 6 per turn. Definitely wants the hero power, but that's not even guaranteed to happen this turn.
Yeah. But honestly, with how fast-paced this game is right now, maybe not by the play, but just by the life totals, he may have to hero power just to have enough damage. And then the question becomes, do you Cobalt Sand Trooper or do you Explosive Trap? The play that I liked, if he didn't have Toxic Reinforcements up, would be Explosive Trap and the Cobalt Sand Trooper. Because then, Purple doesn't want to trade in that, because if it's Pack Tactics, that's a lot of damage that he's taking.
There is the possibility of playing Kill Command and Explosive Trap.
Quickly.
Yeah. Kill Command Explosive Trap would prevent a lot of damage. But then
I think
again,
that's what he has to do. So the thing is, Purple, if he attacks into this, is not only going to kill his own board, but also going to take the damage. But Purple has to, because he needs to develop onto the board. Altruist is also uncontested now.
yeah. And Altruist won the game real quick.
And that's his second explosive trap. An Eagle Horn Bow for Firebat. I mean, that's actually one of the best draws in his deck. But he didn't have the sequence to benefit from it, so...
Yeah.
Can Firebat afford to leave up this Altruist is probably what he's thinking. Because the thing is, Altruist will be activating the Leopard Gnome here, Death Rattles. Oh no, it's at 1 out of 3 though.
It's at 1 out of 3. Yeah, he didn't hero power last turn, so
Right.
he's trying.
Ooh, that's rough.
He's trying to count damage right now, and it's just tough. If he Eagle Horn bows this and hero powers, he's effectively down to 12 because the Crimson Sigil Runner will hit him, and he's running out of time. And then Purple effectively has 2 turns to kill him because his Kobold Sand Trooper and his Leopard Gnomes next turn won't be activated.
I think you gotta kill the Altruist.
Yeah. Now Purple just hero powers Metamorphosis hero power, and that's a guaranteed 2-turn lethal. I don't think Firebat can deal 17 from hand.
Yeah, and there's no way to gain life as well.
Yep.
Complete.
It's just a little bit too slow. He needed to get the Toxic Reinforcement started just a little bit earlier. He would have that 6 damage. He had 3 set up, putting down his opponent, put his opponent down to 8. It was really close. But finds Leok off of the Animal Companion just to kind of add insult to injury here. Just a little bit too slow. The difference of being able to get out on turn 1 versus turn 2 ends up making such a big difference. And Purple, having things like I-Beam to answer that first Face Stalker was really big.
Yeah.
And you get to see what that deck is capable of, but also the Face Hunter's limitations.
Yeah, if it depends on how fast it loses board, and Firebat lost board very fast. The fact that he wasn't able to weave in hero powers each turn after Toxic Reinforcements meant that he had no chance of piecing together enough damage to win the game. So he got outfaced by the Demon Hunter, and that happens sometimes. That the Face Hunter deck, while it's built for maximum efficient damage, it still has some inconsistencies, and maybe we'll see that play into today, but Firebat still has to find a win with that. Purple's just got Highlander Hunter and Rogue left in this final series.
All right, well, that will bring us to the conclusion of Game 1 and also to our last break of the day. So after this intermission, we're going to play out the rest of the series between Purple and Firebat, and just like that, first day of round robin is done. So don't go anywhere. I'll be back in just a sec.
Hearthstone Grandmasters is brought to you by T-Mobile, helping you stay connected to what matters most. Learn about T-Mobile's COVID-19 response on T-Mobile.com.
What is my greatest fear?
Oh man, that's just too existential.
The R word, which is relegated.
The future is my greatest fear. That and spiders, they're both very high up there.
My greatest fear for the longest time was ants.
Mi mayor miedo seguían las alturas.
Hurting someone's feelings. I never really want to give off bad vibes.
Failing in Hearthstone is kind of a fear. I want to continue doing this for as long as I could.
My friend's older brothers were digging up an anthill. I went to look to see what they were doing, and then they pushed me into the anthill, and then I was covered in ants from head to toe.
I've had this recurring nightmare since I was a child of not being able to finish a puzzle, and it's a giant puzzle that I'm walking on, and then I fall into it, and I wake up in sweats, and it's just terrible. So really what I'm afraid of is puzzles.
And I had to strip down naked and get hosed down to get all the ants off of me, and they were like bitey ants, and it was not fun. It was not fun at all. From that moment onward, I had a war against ants, and I absolutely hated ants.
Drowning because I don't know how to swim.
Death, and that all life is meaningless.
My greatest fear is death.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Hearthstone Grandmasters, our final series of the day, Purple versus Firebat. Already underway. Purple getting that very quick Game 1 victory with the Demon Hunter. Can Firebat get that win with the Face Hunter, our T-Mobile deck spotlight of the day? Well, he's got a couple other chances to try. I personally think that his best chance might be against the other two decks. Rogue and Hunter would probably be weak to the Face Hunter, given that Purple's playing a much slower variant of the class. So we'll see.
Yeah, time will tell. I want to see get a win. I really don't want to see Face Hunter get 3-0'd, especially after we spotlighted it. And it's just always fun to see. It's fun every once in a while. Not always fun. It's fun every once in a while to see Face Hunter dominating.
Let the hunt
And I hope we just get one of them. But it's not going to be this game. Firebat's going to switch over to the Zoo Warlock. And Purple to his Highlander Hunter. And
yes,
this is a clean zoo, Dan. Clean.
Yes, it is clean, untainted by any riders of wolves. And I'm excited to see if Firebat can get this win. I don't want to see a blowout. But, the early game curve here for Purple seems pretty solid. And Firebat would have to go for... he does have the Hand of Gul'dan, which is promising.
Yep.
But I think he would need the Expired Merchant or the Scrap Imp to really make this hand pop.
Yeah. Probably keep in hand and throw in the other two. Unless he wants to play like a full zoo style and keep Serpent Egg and throw away the other two. But he really only has like Evil Genius as an activator. So I just like the Hand of Gul'dan, keep and throw away the other two. Dan, I just looked again. Firebat's list is all 2-ofs, no legendaries. Fits on one side of the deck, the screen. It's 1,000 dust, even. Exactly
Nice.
1,000 dust cost. It's just
feels good.
It just feels good. Now, this hand doesn't feel particularly good, but at least he has a Magic Carpet that will allow him to fight back on board. But he does need to pick up the Matron or the Expired Merchant to really get this hand popping.
Yeah, and that's why Firebat is taking it so slow, because he feels like he can take it that slow if he has a Magic Carpet in hand. See how the Evil Genius generates these threats, and the more powerful the Magic Carpet turn is, the more impactful the tempo swing would be. Purple already hesitating to think about what he wants to see out of the next couple of turns here. He does have Desert Spear as a way to set up his board and answer this 2-2. Also could instead Hero Power and take it even slower and try to get value while he can, because Zoo's going to be drawing a ton of cards. And that is one way Zoo can win, by just kind of pushing out a ton of cards and then just winning in the resource battle. And then, of course, can also just kind of build the board traditionally through 1 mana, 2 mana plays.
Yeah, I like the Hero Power Guardian Og Merchant because it plays around everything that Firebat would want to do on 4. Either he would want to Nightshade Matron and trade over the highest health thing to activate Skull of Gul'dan, or he'd want to Magic Carpet plus something and trade over the highest powered minion on board. This protects his Shadow Wave from both of those things, so he's guaranteed to have another 4 attack next turn. So, nice spot. It's making use of the Dwarven Sharpshooter. And like you mentioned, Zoo just wants to kind of either out-Zoo you, which Firebat misses opportunity for that, or out-resource you with the discards of Hand of Gul'dan and play the long game and make one big push. Ugh!
Guys, I can't move.
Well, that kills his what you like.
Yeah. Camel Spit. Yuck. This is looking bad for Firebat.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah. He did have Hand of Gul'dan, but doesn't have the Expired Merchant. Also, choosing to play pretty slow. His only other option, besides kind of the line he took, was to play Shield Bearer on 1 and Evil Genius on 2. But he's facing a Dwarven Sharpshooter, which could have also soloed his entire board. It's tough. When Hunter has the Dwarven Sharpshooter, it feels like that takes care of their entire early game.
Yep.
And it's added insult to injury for Firebat that it's a 1-of in the deck.
Yep. Now, purple needs to push this advantage, though, because there's a couple minions on board that when they awaken from their dormant state, they do have a profound effect. One, to be able to control the board, and the other to be able to buff the hand, which also has synergy with each other, which is kind of cool. They make up for each other's weaknesses. So purple really needs to get the damage rolling before that happens. But I mean, Firebat, he could like dump his hand here. Well, not dump his hand, but Magic Carpet, Shield Bearer, Argent Squire to take out the Bone Chewer Brawler. But he's still taking 5, and he's emptying his hand in a situation where Scrap Imp's going to activate next turn. So I guess the plan is to dig with Evil Genius. And make next turn his crazy swing turn. All right.
Yeah, the Goblin Lackey here helps fight back onto the board. But one of those things that I gotta ask is it too little too late here? I guess the Cobalt Lackey is very good to shut down the Frozen Shadow Weaver. But this is not the position that Zoo Warlock should be in. Cobalt couldn't because there's a Divine Shield. But Firebat is playing with inefficient turns now because he's floating mana. And this is the second time that he's floated mana pretty significantly. Tough position to be in. And purple is specifically thinking about, what am I going to do once the Scrap It pops? Because Firebat's going for such a decisive tempo swing that purple might be in the mode where he has to burn to finish the game. And burn he might. Let's look at how much damage he can deal right now.
Well, Animal Companion rolls Huffer. That's a lot. Animal Companion rolls Leok. A good amount. Animal Companion rolls Nisha. Ronest Drake seems poor. You're killing a 1/1. I guess it develops a 5/6, but this is actually tough because none of these things guarantee you a ton of power going to the following turn. So, gonna weave in hero power and try and make it work that way. But this is the turn Firebat was waiting for.
Right.
Scrap Imp awakens, Imprison Falcon awakens. Magic Carpet 3/1 drops.
It's the ideal setup here for Firebat, finally getting that imp. And he gets a full board clear. And the thing is, purple does have the Varanus. And that's kind of why he set up this Desert Spear, because he knew that this was a possibility. So the question becomes, is it enough for Firebat to decisively swing the game? I mean, it's a lot of power on board.
It is a lot of
Scrap Imp
power.
has done a work.
It is a lot of power. And if purple's having to make these defensive plays of Varanus, yes, he can clear off the taunt and the Magic Carpet, but that still leaves a good chunk of power on board and gives Firebat at least an opportunity to draw another Magic
Sort
Carpet.
of, right? Because the problem is he can't life tap comfortably in this spot. If he does, he's risking a lot.
Yeah.
Second of all, he still has to deal with this Varanus. He's life tapping. Wow. Oh, wow. Firebat is completely unafraid about the implications of this.
I mean, this does block Dino Tamer Brand.
It's true.
Voidwalker.
Dino Tamer Brand is his biggest concern here.
Firebat just really needs to get a card to help efficiently dump this Hand of Gul'dan turn. How much damage is he presenting? 6, 7, 11, 12, 13. So it would be 2 turn lethal if he were to draw a Soul Fire.
Yes. Although the Scavenger Ingenuity is guaranteed to draw a beast that can impact the board, and purple with the Corrosive Breath does guarantee 3 damage to the face. So if he Scavenger Ingenuity, kills the Void Walker, attacks the face for 1 in hero powers, he has Corrosive Breath for guaranteed lethal.
Yes.
He's thinking about if there's any merit to picking apart the board at all. Definitely gonna hero power.
You can still pick apart the board with the Rusher from the Desert Spear. So he's safe from everything.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure everything that would kill him at 5 would also kill him at 3. So.
Yeah, Firebat deep in the tank thinking about any of get out of this situation, but looks like Hunter's got him.
Yep.
Another big win too, because I was worried that this Hunter deck would get overwhelmed by the aggression. And when you have to play Hand of Gul'dan...
Wait, I was going to say, if all 3 of his next cards were all things that would discard the Hand of Gul'dan, that would be quite funny.
Firebat doesn't know that he's dead, but I think he likely understands that he's at an important break point, so he's going to play out his cards, but...
Stormhammer, Kill Command, Dino Tamer Bran, Corrosive Breath, Zephyrus, Unleash. There's so many cards that kill him in this spot.
And that's going to do it. 2-0 for purple. 1 game away from sweeping Firebat.
Ooh.
Last deck remains is the Rogue, and perhaps Firebat, with his unconventional lineup, is not going to be able to get a win here, but we'll see. I mean, the Rogue still is a class that can be vulnerable to aggressive strategies, and Firebat has Warrior available. Purple didn't ban the Demon Hunter, so an unconventional ban versus an unconventional lineup.
Yeah. With the Highlander Hunter, I think it makes a little bit more sense just because of how Purple has constructed his lineup, and it's like one less bad matchup, I suppose. It would be a shame for Firebat to lose 3-0 like this because he did have a poor performance in the Swiss as well. So poor performance in Swiss plus a rough start to your round robin, that's got to weigh on you, right? So at least a close series is what I'm hoping for, and we'll see what Firebat decides to go on next. We've talked about this. You mentioned it multiple times, just how consistent and versatile a deck Rogue is. Does have many bad matchups. Given it 3 opportunities to win against 3 different decks, very, very likely for Purple to be able to take this series. But Firebat's going to queue up the Warrior, and we'll see if he can be able to at least claw his way back in the series.
All right, well, game number 3. Firebat's back's against the wall. He's going to turn to Warrior as his first option here. Purple's been, doing a good job understanding how to apply pressure here into situations. Firebat with some awkward draws hasn't been panned out for him. Purple keeping Bamboozle. I personally like keeping Secrets for Rogue on to play on 2. Oh my goodness. Well, shout out to Leonard actually does get answered by Warmaul Challenger.
Unless he plays the coin. Okay.
I never lie, but I never tell the truth.
And in Firebat, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't go for this Warmaul Challenger to answer it. And gains a lot of tempo from it as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be a 1-5 on the board. even after it battles his Shadow Jewel Hernar to the death. So purple does have to respond to this because there's a lot of bad things that can happen if you don't. But he is just going to play the Spy Mistress and pass. Doesn't look like purple's going to be punished, but, you know, Bloodsworn Mercenary comes out there, and even though it's just 2 1/5s, it's 2 1/5s that are high health, that can activate Battle Rage. Firebat looks like he has to make an off-curve play here. Looking at the secret spread for purple, he's got 2 Ambush, 1 Bamboozle, 2 Dirty Tricks in his deck. So least likely is Bamboozle, but the other 2 are pretty even. Are exactly even. Oh, double stunner.
Don't let the door hit you.
Yeah, I think this tempo gain through the Blackjack Stunner is still really key. Not to mention that purple has opportunity. Oh, wow. Shadow Step. Maximum tempo. I like it. I like being aggressive here. He has Bamboozle, but he's also pretty all in if you kind of analyze the state of his hand.
Yeah. I mean, Ethereal Lackey can help, and his minions probably aren't going to get tacked into, so that other Blackjack Center that's in the hand is also most likely going to get value next turn. And he can just keep chipping away with these things, and it'll give him time to find resources that'll make his hand look a little better than they do now. All right, so now Firebat knows that this is, in fact, Bamboozle. Because he played minion last turn with the secret up, and he just played a spell, so he knows it's not Dirty Tricks. It's a very awkward deck to play against the Rogue.
I must choose.
Did not hit the anchor. Oh my goodness.
Nothing.
Yeah, needed risky skipper. And speaking of the risky plays that purple has set up, has not really been punished. And I think it's like him recognizing what he needs to do. Card draw when you're running out of cards seems pretty solid to me. So Candle Breath does appeal to me.
Imagine if he had a Draconic Lackey instead of a Kobold Lackey. Oof.
One of the weirder times to ask for that, because Kobold Lackey is generally way better.
Yeah, I know. Specifically when you have it compared with an Ethereal Lackey that got Candle Breath. That's basically the only time I could think that that would be better. I mean, Draconic Lackey with this type of hand wouldn't be terrible either, just because you're kind of looking for just bigger plays to make.
Don't let the door hit you.
All right, sure. You can Blackjack Center your own minions.
That's fun. That's something that you don't really think about very often. Oh, interesting. Fan of Knives when everything already gets damaged. Also, again, more card draw. But yeah, Blackjack Stunner, you can use it on any minion period, so you can get Battlecry value. Not a very efficient turn from purple, very low on tempo. But still able to get out the stats.
Well, he knows it's Bamboozle. Right.
Facing me.
But it still gets rid of the Lackey going into turn 6, which is important. Titanic Lackey could help.
I'm just worried if he's just going to stabilize too late.
Yeah.
Because he needs 2 things. He needs Armor Smith and the Risky Skipper. And right now, he's not on track to get either. It's a good draw here, Shield of Galakron. Shield of Galakron can give purple the Draconic Lackey, so you can play the Candle Breath cheaper. Alternatively, he could use a Seal Fate in this position.
Yeah, if you kill the Serpent, it does make Firebat's plays even more awkward. You know that he has a 5-mana Bomb Wrangler and a 5-mana Wormall Challenger in hand. And one weapon, right? And very likely not Anchor, so probably another Livewire Alliance. So Purple has to have a good read of what this hand is, because Firebat's plays have just been weak.
Oh my, a witchy lackey.
And honestly, Firebat didn't really have a way to capitalize on this Serpent Egg, so he's probably happy to see a bunch of damage go into it.
Right. That was...
Yeah.
Someone's got to lead the charge.
Oh, is that going to pick up Risky Skipper? Nope.
No, it's the Kobold Sticky Finger. Everyone's favorite pirate. Oh my, Firebat is desperate. Swinging into the Shield of Galakron to try and fight back for board presence. Oh no! The Garden Gnome.
It feels like when Firebat's been presented with any random effect in all 3 of his games, it's just been like one of the worst outcomes of each one.
Yeah. Purple's just been seeing weak turn after weak turn coming from the Warrior. Those Blackjack stunners have come in so clutch. However, this is still a nice edge. The moment that Firebat picks up that Risky Skipper and the Armor Smith, it feels like Rogue is locked out.
Yeah.
The question is, can we get enough damage in anyways? Purple can get through this taunt. He actually has a very efficient damage clear through Seal Fate and Fan of Knives.
Yeah.
I will act as your skin.
But it's pretty low on board development.
Oh,
Okay.
There's the Draconic Lackey. Candle Breath is online, Dan. This is very slow play. Purple does have a lack of burst in his deck, though. He only plays 1 Eviscerate. Alright, take more damage.
Oh my goodness.
That's the answer. Okay.
Life is a resource. It's so interesting watching Warrior do that. Finds reasonable options. Battle Rage, of course, one of the best cards you could play in this deck. You can actually play it now, but it wouldn't be very clean.
Go Corcoran Elite, then Battle Rage.
Yeah.
Draw 2.
Exactly.
Honestly, what other choices he have? Alright, Rampage, Rage.
No Armor Smith.
The most awkward Warrior hand in existence.
Oh, jeez.
Well,
I
Sinister
like...
Strikes? What? Dragon Alexstrasza is still, I guess, not that far away from being active. He's got Backstab, Dirty Tricks, and Devoted Maniac as his 2-ups left. But I see a Warrior at 9 health, and I see a Cobalt Spellskin. I'm like, oh, Sinister Strikes all day.
Right. And Purple trying to develop the best amount of template he can, finds a Mana Worm.
Is that what I think it is? Bingo!
Oh, Risky Skipper.
Nailed it!
Yeah, now we can start the counteroffensive. Firebat. I mean, this was a very poor pan out for the Rogue after the all-in. Purple barely found any substance outside the Shields of Galakron.
Yeah. Firebat's not out of the woods yet. I mean, he used his Battle Rage. He's seen both Black-Tech Centers, so Rampage is going to stick.
True. He does know there's an Ethereal Lackey. So there's a possibility that Purple has cards like Sap, which are very reactive.
Yeah, that Fanonizes the Ethereal Lackey card. Oh. It's an armor up instead. Alright, so now we're just 2 cards away, I think, from an activated Dragon Queen Alexstrasza. Devoted Maniac and Backstab, I believe. Oh no, he has Backstab. Devoted Maniac and Dirty Tricks, excuse me. 'Cause I don't think he's played a Dirty Tricks yet. Ooh. Backstab, he already has one, and it's a pretty useless card in the matchup often.
Yeah, I want to say Waxmancy has been pretty subpar whenever I have used that card. I even picked it specifically during our testing session, DJ, and it bombed completely. And I hope for Purple's sake that ends up being a pretty solid card because it was wildly unimpressive in our testing.
Yes, it was.
All right, so if I'm Firebat, thinking about another Battle Rage here, I'm actually even considering throwing in the Warmaul Challenger to get another card.
It's just so expensive.
True. Gosh, this is just a very awkward game.
It's an awkward game, but oddly enough, like, Firebat, he's got Grom Inner Rage in hand.
Right. So he could set up potential ways to kill.
So Grom Inner Rage, Kobold Lackey hit is 17, and he's got 3 on board, so he has 20 damage. What about... Nope.
Dude, we were talking about it. That this feels very underwhelming.
What about Grizzled Wizard?
Swap hero powers with your opponent to the next time. Yeah, that'd be great if he was playing Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis has nothing to do.
Yeah, I think the Dragon Queen Alexstrasza pick might end up just being too greedy here for Purple.
Yeah.
It was actually better just to play at Dragon Queen Alexstrasza than 8-8.
Yeah, honestly it was.
So you can Dagger, Grizzled Wizard, Hero Power again. It's 4 mana. Yep. Then play Ambush.
Seal Fate your own Grizzled Wizard. Spend your mana.
I don't know.
Look at Firebat's face!
He is so perplexed about what he just saw.
He doesn't even know what Hearthstone is anymore.
Well, he doesn't even know what Grizzled Wizard is, and just like a wizard, he disappeared instantly.
Yeah.
Is this... What damage is this?
It's not lethal. Wait, is it? Because he can actually... Goblin Lackey at 2. No, it's not quite.
Well, the thing is, Firebat's recognized that Purple is just not
17,
doing anything.
19.
He just keeps passing.
Yeah, it's a little bit off. That's 14 from those two. 3 from the Serpent Egg, 17, and then Kobolak would be 19. He's a little off, but he can set up for a Grom lethal.
Unless Purple draws exactly Galakron and just wins. That would just be the finale of this really silly, wacky game.
There's still a duplicate Dirty Tricks in the deck, so Dragon Queen Albatross is still not active. What happened? How did he lose?
No, that was a very like sad game of Hearthstone. Neither deck really like functioned the way it should until it was like super late into the game. There was like 5 or 6 turns of roping and doing nothing. It just felt like all this anticipation was building up, TJ. And then nothing happened.
Weird, just a weird game.
Very reminiscent of many dates I've been on in the past. What was that?
Were you Firebat or purple at the end of the date?
I think both of them left that engagement very disappointed, so I would say both.
Yeah.
I have been both Firebat and purple in that scenario.
Yeah.
What was that? That was so weird.
I honestly don't know what to say because like Firebat didn't do anything like 6 turns except attack into things with a live wire lance and armor up. So and purple felt like he was doing a lot every turn. Like, you know, Blackjack Son of my own Ethereal Lackey, draw 3 cards with Candle Breath, get a bunch of spells and dragons. And then you look down at his hand, it's like you are out of cards that do things, and you have no board. Like, it's just crazy. I don't know. But we'll forget about that one for now and probably forever. And move on to Firebat once again with the Face Hunter and purple. Just Rogue left remaining.
Yeah, he's going to need a way better draw than that. That was... Well, the thing was, purple took a huge risk and just never recovered. He, like, went hyper all in, and then he didn't draw cards, and then when he did draw cards, he didn't favor damage, he favored more value, and I think he was trying to outvalue the warrior, which was definitely not happening. It was weird. The game transformed to a few different directions. I first thought it was very tempo driven, then I thought it was very value driven, and then just ended. Oh no, it was. Anyways, going on to this game, this is going to be a lot quicker. Rogue will either die or Hunter will fizzle out. And without Van Cleef, I argue that Rogue is going to struggle a lot. But this backstab, miscreant is a good start.
Oh, Worgen Infiltrator did its job. It dealt 2 damage.
Oh, what a top deck. TJ. Stone Tusk Spore off the top.
Nice. Most likely a kill command activator later in the game. Could also get some use with Scrap Shot.
Oh, Tailwind Yeti.
Just the goods.
Yeah. And I think
just
if
a
I'm
nice,
purple,
honest Hearthstone minion.
if I'm purple, I'm considering instead playing this ambush instead of the...
Direwolf positioning! Ah! We finally see it rewarded!
Yeah.
It's amazing! I was very upset at Empani's Auto earlier because he actually would have been incredibly rewarded by Direwolf Alpha and didn't care about positioning. Woo!
Now to use a Stone Tusk board to trade, but if you play a minion, you play into ambush.
You fell right into my trap.
You never... Did you say trade? Come on, Dan, you know better.
This is why I suck at Face Hunter. Wow, imagine if he had the ability to flick Sky Shift.
6 mana, 4/4, take 8. The wider purple goes, the more these Unleash the Hounds are starting to look scary in purple's hand or in Firebat's hand. I was like, oh, those are like dead cards. You don't want to Unleash the Hounds, but purple is going wide very early on. And this is tough because you want to protect the taunt from your Shield of Galakrond, but trading in Leper Gnomes is one of the worst feelings in Hearthstone. Here we go. Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do the same thing. All face, no trade. Who wins the race?
Too soon.
Okay.
Wow, that was awful.
Yeah.
That actually did nothing.
Oh, this is a good unleash, Dan.
Oh, that's a great unleash. Unleash the doggies.
So trade one, hero power, and have a think. How much damage do you need to take off board? How much damage are you going to deal next turn?
Well, if you have Unleash the Hound's kill command next turn, that is... If there's not an answer on the board, that is 10.
What's a realistic amount of minions to get from Unleash the Hounds? 4? 3,
Well,
given this board state?
I think you're going to account for the worst possible scenario, which is your opponent plays another shield. And by hacking into this, he is guaranteed at least one Unleash the Hound minion plus kill command. There is 10 on the board. 11 through the dagger, 12 through Praise Galakron. And that's game.
Base Hunter got there.
Just too much damage. And we're going to go to game 5.
Just an efficient killing machine. Very nicely done. And it will come down to the Zoo Warlock for Firebat. Zoo Warlock versus the Galakron Secret Rogue from purple.
All right, so Rogue might get swept, and we kind of talked about how Rogue might be one of those decks where it feels really reliable to have 3 games, but at the same time, when you're going up against an aggressive lineup from Firebat, it is hard to fight against it with a class that struggles to do that, and it seems like Purple's Rogue list in particular seems to be struggling a lot right now.
Yeah. I mean, that game is tough because Purple made just about all the right plays, but Base Hunter just... If Base Hunter curves out against Rogue and has the efficient damage, it's really difficult to beat them without a lot of taunts and maybe even some healing. Because he killed him on turn 6, so didn't even have time for like Galakron to come out and gain him a little bit of armor back and maybe allow him to cheat some big stuff out like Kronks. So we'll see. Firebats didn't have a great pan out with the Zoo Warlock either. So I don't know. It seems like while Purple's been struggling with the Rogue, Zoo Warlock has been struggling as a whole in Americas today. We'll see if he can get the job done.
The Zoo Warlock performance has been lackluster, to say the least. And we'll see if it's able to do something in this last game, but I don't have high expectations. It could be the fact that Zoo Warlock seems largely predicated on having Scrap Imp early, and I think we are overdue for a Scrap Imp victory. So based off of that and the momentum, I am picking Firebat. And hey, what do you know?
You got it, Dan.
It makes sense. We've been seeing so many games for Scrap Imp not being played early. And I think that's really underrepresented. That doesn't represent the true power of this deck. Part of what makes Zoo good is the fact that you can play Scrap Imp and then just win through pure tempo.
I think Firebat 3 kept.
And that hand is going to look really strong. All Firebat needs is one Hand of Gul'dan in Meat Cooking.
Evil Genius has a little bit of anti-synergy with the Scrap.
Not a huge deal, though.
Not a huge deal. You can always Evil Genius the scrap. Ooh!
Very nice. And purple finally gets something that he can play, so he goes ahead.
Oh!
Wow. That's actually kind of amazing here. Purple needed that tempo to be on his side. Oh wait, never mind. There's a Nightshade Matron discarding the hand of Gul'dan. Oh, that's a big yikes. No secret in hand for purple to blackjack stunner. Oh wait!
Oh! You don't want a blackjack stunner the scrap imp though.
Why? That won me the game versus you.
Let the door hit you.
I mean, he has no damage on board. He has no damage on board. He would just play it again with a full hand.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of things can win the game against me, Dan.
That was exactly the line of play. I was like, huh, maybe I'm just gonna blackjack stunner this in our play session, and that won me the game. But not really when your opponent has this kind of hand.
You fell right into my trap.
Firebat can pretty much just kind of play out stuff to just get strength on the board, and it has rush.
The light protects me.
And this might be already too much for purple to overcome. He does have Seal of Fate.
Can't deal with the carpet though.
Yeah. I mean, he could, but he had to invest all of his resources.
Yeah.
One shot, 3 kills.
Okay. Oh, it's too bad he doesn't have mana, so he can play the lackey and draw from his deck. That would have been sick.
Yeah. He's leaving the carpet up, which is... I mean, I get that he would have taken all of his resources in order to kill the carpet. Sometimes that's a necessary evil. Because this carpet's going to get some work done.
Oh, yeah. 4 1-mana minions in the hand. This is looking... Yeah, this is looking like a crushing victory here for Firebat.
The fires of vengeance burn bright.
I can even go for like a Serpent Egg and a Evil Genius. Or just Evil Genius and get the 1-drop Blackies to keep trading in.
On the wings of evil.
Cobalt Spellskin can pick up Soul Fires, Rain of Fire, Mortal Coil, Plague of Flames. Purple just seems very dead right now.
Yeah, I don't really see a way for him to get out. He has Galakrond, which might be able to pull him out something, but there's 6-10 power on board, plus the Soul Fire is 14, plus the Abuser Sergeant is...
Get in there and fight, maggot.
You can dig with Evil Genius.
More.
16 damage, right?
Right. Evil Genius is likely to get him over that hump.
Yep. And he's got the mana to be able to play 1 Lackey plus Soulfire, so he might as well keep the Abuser Sergeant around in case he wants to trade into the Kronks if he doesn't find the damage. Which he does not find the damage.
Crazed Netherwing. He has a dragon in hand.
Yeah, that's burst damage. Yeah, and then just... I don't think you risk Doomsayer here. Especially since it's so fresh in your mind from Purple getting it from his Faceless Lackey earlier on in the game. So just go with the Beaming Sidekick and push the damage. And now Purple, this Galakrond has to be the best Galakrond ever.
And it is unlikely to be the case here, because I think even if he can deal or move 2 things on board, he's dead anyways.
Double
And that
secrets.
will do it. Reverse sweep with the Rogue. Firebat lands the W after a very scary first 2 games with a sigh of relief. See Firebat. He's still got the fire, man. Whenever he loses, he takes it really hard. In the past seasons, he used to review all of his GM games on stream, going turn by turn if he misplayed. And looks like he was able to pull it through. And the risky lineup bring panned out well for Firebat, targeting things like Rogue and getting the sweep. Well done.
Yeah, purple. That Rogue. The Secret Rogue, Galacron Rogue. It feels like it was performing better against the other standard lineups, and then it just was weak against the lineups that had weird stuff in it, like the Highlander Hunter lineups and your Face Hunter and Zoo. So Purple's got to be not feeling too great about that one, but maybe that was Firebat's plan all along, was to kind of corner the Rogue and do it with efficient damage. But was looking bad for Firebat, but he's got the win. 1-0 starting off the round robin stage after a very rough Swiss portion of the season of Grandmasters for him. So happy to see a W on the board.
Yeah.
And all across the board, a lot of big matches today.
Totally. So Gallon was able to win against Empanizado. Really fun back and forth series. Again, if you can get a chance to check it out, highly recommend. It is a very fun match. I won't spoil it for you. Muzzy with a quick 3-0 victory, but after that, lots of back and forth, 3-2s all around. Highlighted by a very close Game 5 between Buddyface and Just Saiyan. We're going to be back at it tomorrow as well, TJ. We're not just done with after 1 day of games. Tomorrow we're also going to have more round-robin matches. We're just getting started here for week number 4, TJ.
Yes, we are. Tomorrow, I believe, tomorrow I think one of the highlights for me is going to be seeing Frozen's lineup in action. Frozen is the only player in Americas to bring Highlander Mage, and it honestly seems like a good bring because it looks like it's well positioned against kind of the standard lineup that players are bringing. And Mage, we saw it perform reasonably well in Europe, which a lot of players had made. So that's kind of my highlight going into the day tomorrow as far as what I'm looking forward to. But we got 2 days full of matches ahead of us, not just for Americas, but for the other regions as well. So going to be a nice long weekend of Hearthstone for our first week of round robin.
That's right. The 4 matches that we have for you tomorrow, because Saturday is our short day. We rotate them across the regions. Saturday, we're going to have Empanizado versus Language Hacker, Gallon versus Nalkidan, Frozen versus Muzzy, and then ETC versus Zalay. So that's going to be tomorrow whenever Europe decides to finish. And then we will go ahead and wrap up day number 2 just like that. So with that, TJ, any final words for the day? We are done, and the production team has been here for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, go take a quick nap and then come back, and what was roughly 6 hours, and Apex starts again all over for Saturday. No, I'm excited for tomorrow. I think we got to see a good amount of variety today. We got to see some Face Hunter. That exciting conclusion, since you didn't spoil it, I won't spoil it, between Gallon and Empanizado in the first match of the day to kick things off. It's been a while since I've seen that happen in Hearthstone. So it was a fun day all around. I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
That's right. So if you missed any part of this broadcast, make sure, of course, to hit that bell and subscribe button on YouTube so that you can get notifications on when it's live, as well as when the VODs are posted. Things go live immediately right after this broadcast for all the VODs. So go back and check it out. And also, if you want to see the deck lists and the standings and the results and all the things about the players, go to playhearthstone.com/esports. That's also where you can find information on how to get plugged into the Masters Tour system, as I believe qualifiers are still going on for the next online Masters Tour living room. So with that, we are done. Thanks for watching, everybody, from Frodan, TJ, and everybody else here as part of Hearthstone Grandmasters. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for more Hearthstone action.
Hearthstone Grandmasters is brought to you by T-Mobile. helping you stay connected to what matters most. Learn about T-Mobile's COVID-19 response on T-Mobile.com.